And we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Lainey, and this is Big Girls Really Do Cry. And welcome to the Banish bin, which has been away for a while, but we're back. We're back. And this is my lovely first guest over here. This is Ashley. Ashley has her own channel. It's called Paper and Twine. I have linked it below.
Hello.
So please, if you're not subscribed, go and subscribe. She makes the most amazing things. And absolutely beautiful. And I don't know where she gets the patience from, because you must have the patience of a saint, Ashley, because I just have no patience for stuff, me. But yeah, if it, not my how to craft. Don't look at them. Go to Ashley, because she can do them properly. But if you're not subscribed, I did notice that you're on 924, I think. So you're not far off the 1,000.
It's
It'd be
about
cool to get
920 or something. Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
About,
So if you're not subscribed to Ashley, please go over, because she's not far off the 1,000 as well. So it'd be nice if you could get over that 1,000 in the next couple of weeks or something. You know what I mean? That'd be cool. Anyway, if anyone hasn't seen the Banish bin before, but you've seen Room 101, then you'll have some idea of what it's like. Basically, Ashley, I'll give Ashley 8 categories. Within them 8 categories, she picks 3 things that she would like to banish. Then I get the chance to save something if I want to, that is. Sometimes people give me 3 choices of things I want to save, so it becomes really hard. And then with the remaining 2, if I have saved something, the side chat, you in the chat, will then choose what you want to banish fully out the other 2. So that's basically how it works.
Like, you are breaking up a little bit on the sound.
Am I?
Would it help if I put a microphone in? I haven't got any headphones. If I put a microphone in, will that help?
If I don't know, because if it's me who's breaking up, it might be me.
Can you hear me all right? Am I breaking up when I speak to you?
Yeah, but I think you like, your screen might be slowing a little bit, but yeah, it does look all right to me. I can hear you.
Let's just persevere, and yes.
If you want to try it, because I'm going to say hello to everyone and stuff in the side chat.
Okay.
So if you want to
I'll do that, we'll see. Yeah.
Right, if you want to do that while I say hello, no problem. Right, I'll scroll back up. Let's have a look. Hi Nia, hi Chris, hi Victoria, hi Elaine, hi Pat, hi Jilly. Scrolly. Hi Sylvia. Being crafting today is something for you. Something for me. Oh, exciting. He's so happy this is back, Nia. Oh, bless you. It'll be running for about 5 weeks, then there'll be a break, and then hopefully it'll come back for another 5 weeks. That is the plan. We shall see. Fingers crossed. It'll just be a break for operations and stuff, you know. Hi Shaza.
So let's try.
You find some.
I can see you.
Hi Sharon said that. Elaine said you were a bit echoey, but maybe with the other ones you'd be better, so we'll see.
The mic thing. Oh, there it is down there. Right, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, you can hear you much louder now.
I can't hear you if I'm that, so.
You can't hear me?
That's no good.
Oh, no.
Let me try these cheap headphones. See if that's any good.
Sharon says she loves the pretty lights. Pretty lights on your wall.
That's no good either. I can't hear you at all. So that's no good.
All right, we'll just stick with what we've got then. We'll work with it. Sharon said she likes the pretty lights on your wall.
Oh yeah, can't see them very well in this light, but Ben made them. So it's a big acrylic board, and it's got lots of LED all in itself, and they're behind acrylic, and yeah, it's colour changing slowly, randomly, and you can animate it to certain effects. So at Christmas he does reds and greens and things like that.
Oh, cool. Right, we've got a few more people in. Hi, Paula. Hi, Mike. Hi, Steve. Stephen. Why am I calling you Steve? Stephen, who's somewhere sunny. Not jealous much. He says, good luck, Ashley. Okay, right. Let's get started, shall we? So, the first category I gave you was food and drink. So if you want to give me...
really hard for me, because anybody who knows me knows I love my food and I love my drink. Got a sneaky little glass of wine here, left over from yesterday. And yeah, I love cooking. I love experimenting with cooking. I love all cuisines of food. So this was really, really hard for me. But number one, broad beans. In fact, I hate beans of all description, apart from Heinz in a tin. I won't eat any other baked beans other than Heinz, but broad beans. My dad used to grow them in his garden when I was little. I mean, Mum would overcook them because she wasn't a very good cook, and they'd come out grey, you know. So, and it was so much texture. Just didn't like them at all. So no, beans, broad beans in particular. I mean, I love the look of some of these sausage cassoulets, but they've got butter beans in. No.
I like butter beans.
And I like chili, but I pick out the kidney beans. I don't mind if the odd one escapes into my mouth, but no. Not for me, beans.
Just the odd one's fine.
No. You see, I'd make chili without beans in it.
Yeah.
So some people might say that's, you know, a bit wrong, but no, I don't like beans. No, apart from baked beans in a tin. Yeah, those are the only beans that will pass my lips, and they have to be Heinz. So that's number one.
Okay.
Kind of in the same kind of vein, I'd be a hopeless vegetarian or vegan. Pulses of all description. No,
you don't like pulses?
I really don't like pulses. No, really don't like them at all. I remember once, years and years and years ago, going to a friend's for dinner, a neighbour's for dinner, and they were vegetarians, and she cooked a lasagna, which was full of lentils, and I just couldn't eat it. It was just, you know, but no, eat it. So I avoid everything that's got pulses in it, I'm afraid. Yeah, so I'd be a hopeless vegetarian and vegan. So that's number two.
Right.
And drink, you see, I like all drinks. There isn't really a drink I don't like, but I did try it because I tried it about 15 years ago because I heard it was supposed to be good for raising your metabolic rate and helping with weight loss. Green tea.
Green tea.
I don't like green tea. No. Green tea.
So was that the reason you tried it? Was because you thought it was going to be good for you for that reason?
Yeah. And I've got a very good friend who is a vegetarian, and we'll go out for a coffee, and I will have a coffee, and she'll have a wild tea or green tea, and it just looks like water. Yeah, don't like it.
No.
Don't like it.
Okay.
It's very bitter. It's
bitter. I've never tried it, but I can't say I would It doesn't sound like something I would like. Do you know what I mean? But yeah. Okay, let's have a look. So broad beans, because you've been specific there. I'm not a fan of broad beans either. Um, I don't mind. I like butter beans, by the way, and I like baked beans. Obviously, don't think I'm a fan of kidney beans either. So I'll probably do the same. But and then again, I don't really think I've tried them. But then that's because I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't eat chili. You know what I mean? I don't like spice. So um, so I'm not going to save broad beans.
Good.
Green tea,
Good.
though I haven't tried it, I would assume I would like it, and I don't like smelly teas, perfumed. Like I don't understand the mix of like perfumey smells with teas or coffees or anything really. You know, that's why I can't stand Turkish delight, because to me it's like someone's injected Zaflora into it. You know what I mean? And it's just not normal. It's like
I
it's
do
not
like
normal.
Turkish delight.
I know a lot of people do, but my sister loves it. But I'm like, no, it's been yeah, it's been injected with the flora or something. But yeah, flowery teas, green teas, herbally teas, no. However, I'm gonna have to save the pulses. Um, so I love peas pudding because I'm where I'm from. Obviously, they're made with pulses. My mum used to make soup, you know, and that was made with pulses, and I always remember it, and I loved it, you know, like when she used to put dumplings in it and that, you know, like soup and dumplings, and it was amazing, and that was obviously made with with pulses, and I'm not sure if it's chickpeas pulses, but I love chickpeas.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I think they
You see, I
are.
love
So
couscous. I love like Mediterranean couscous, but quite often it has chickpeas in. So if I see it in the supermarket ready made, I look through the ingredients to see if it's got chickpeas in, and if it has, I won't buy it.
yeah, but I have to we with chickpeas, it's if they're dried, you know what I mean? Um, the like dried ones. So yeah, um, like and then you can roast them and now have get barbecue flavorings on them, and they're just lovely. Best thing ever. Anyway, that's enough
I
about
don't mind
chickpeas.
them like that in like mix when they're crunchy. I think it's the texture with the beans as well. It's the texture of them when they're in
Yeah,
your mouth and you're chewing them. Yeah, it's I don't.
yeah. Um, Stephen says we all have a pulse. Save us, Laney. If we get rid of pulses, what would you check before giving first aid? That was from Channel M. Broad beans also a pulse. Are broad beans also a pulse? I don't know, because would all the
It's a
beans be in
legume.
pulses? I'm not sure.
It's technically a legume, isn't it? A bean. I think
A
they're
lagoon.
slightly different from pulses. Yeah.
All
But if
right.
you want another one to add to the list, liver. If you want to take pulses and broad beans, I think liver.
No, it's fine. You've made your choices. It's fine. And we've had liver before anyway, many times. So I'm gonna save pulses, and then I'm going to pass it to the chat, and they can decide between broad beans and green tea. So if you want to send broad beans to the Banish bin, then type beans, and if you want to send green tea to the Banish bin, type snipe type I mean tea.
Don't snipe.
So yeah, snipe it instead.
What's the verdict?
We shall see what they do. think it's going to be green tea.
Okay, good choice.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's write that down. So pick my pen up, what have I done? I literally just had it. Yeah, honestly. I cannot see things. Right. So yes. Okay, next category is things people do.
Right. Again, this was quite difficult. The first one is specific to my household, but it might well apply to people's household. People who shall remain nameless, taking things to the dishwasher, but actually not putting them in the dishwasher, even though the dishwasher is empty of clean things already. It really,
Right.
really gets to me that, they've taken the effort to carry the stuff into the kitchen, put it on top of the dishwasher, but they can't go that next step and open the door and slot the stuff in. Don't know why. That's my first one. I don't know if anybody else lives in a household like that, but that's my first one. Do you want me to go on to my second one?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know if you heard me.
You may have had this before, I don't know, but it's a driving situation, traffic light discipline. Now, me and Mr. Paper and Twine have commented on this quite a lot, and I do have a friend who's a driving instructor, so I need to ask him whether it's something they teach these days. But not pulling up to the line at traffic lights. When you're the first car in the queue, not pulling right up to the line, and then pulling away really slowly when the light changed. That really, really, really gets me.
So the pull. So, sorry, I missed a little bit of that. So the when you get to the traffic light, the pull away as it changes and not like waiting until it's fully
No,
changed. Is that what you say?
so the light has changed and they pull
Mm-hmm.
away really slowly. They don't get going.
Oh, they slowly pull away.
Yeah. So you're like 5 or 6 cars back and the lights changed. And by the time the first couple of cars have got going, the lights have changed back to red again. But the other thing is, I don't know whether maybe younger people who might be watching, maybe who've learned to drive in recent years. Yeah, when I was taught to drive, you pull right up to that line at the traffic light, as far forward as you can, you're in the queue.
Yeah.
But it seems like they seem to leave a car's length these days, and I don't understand it.
Right.
So that's my second one. And then I've seen a lot of this recently. My third one, people, families or couples or groups of friends, when they're out in the pub or in a restaurant or whatever, not engaging with each other, but just on their phones like that.
Yeah.
We were in a pub beer garden on Sunday afternoon, and a family came in. They're obviously waiting to have Sunday lunch, and it was a lovely sunny afternoon, and there were 3 teenage girls and the mum and the dad. I presume it's the mum and dad, and they sat at the table. The dad brought all the drinks, and they were all like that. I thought, you've come out for a meal, it's a lovely day, you just spent all that money on drinks and you're not even talking to each other. I think it's quite rude. I'm of a certain generation that I've had a mobile phone for a very long time, but it's not my be all and end all. I don't have it out. And again, I think that's part, having been a school teacher, my phone was in my handbag, switched off, out of sight, out of mind until the end of the day. I used to drive my husband mad to look at my phone until the bell had gone at the end of the day. And I'm still like that. I don't, I'm not constantly checking my phone. I'm not that much into social media that, I have to know who's liked my Instagram post or who's posted what on Facebook. Just not that kind of person. But I can see that people of a certain generation, it's really important to see what their mates are doing on Snapchat, or what the latest TikTok is or whatever. But I just think if you're going out with people, it's very rude. And there was another situation in our local pub. A couple of my kids were home, and we just walked up for a snack and a couple of drinks. And there was a young lad who was clearly quite severely autistic, and he was, he'd got his tics and his movements, and he was vocalizing. And there were two adult males with him. I presume one was his dad or carer. And not only did they totally ignore him for the hour and a half that we were in there, they totally ignored each other. They were on their phones, and I just didn't understand why. And I felt really sorry for that young lad who needed some attention and was being ignored because they were on their devices.
Totally ignored.
And these were grown, these were grown men. It wasn't like they were teenagers, they're probably in their 40s. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, so that's my third one. People out, when they're out and about, socialising, they're on their phones. Yeah, yes. That gets me.
Stephen said, they're like Leonie, they're texting while socialising. I apologise for that. I was just checking that my son was okay, because he rang me after leaving a message that said, I can't feel my arms. He's gone to the gym for the first time. And I says, I bet you've done too much. I knew he would do too much. You know what I mean? But he's all right. It was just like, I was just checking that he was all right, hence my texting. So I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm not normally rude. Okay. So they're not putting things in the dishwasher when they put it right beside. I don't have a dishwasher, but I don't do the dishes either. So that's, good. But yes, that would frustrate me if to put something right there when they're like that much further away would put it inside. It's like dropping something next to the washing basket, and I've had that annoys me. Why drop it next to the washing basket? Put it in the washing basket.
Door. That's all you got to do. Open the door.
Yeah, because I think what they do, I mean, probably not with the dishes, but with the washing, they probably just chuck it, and that's why it doesn't quite make the basket. They just leave it. So I get that frustration as to why that would be frustrating. Why put it on there when you just got to pull the door open, put it in? You know what I mean? So yeah, that would be annoying. I don't drive, apart from like obviously Robo Bitch, and she's out of action at the minute. But it obviously this doesn't bother me in the sense to save it, because it doesn't something that affects me. So I wouldn't save it. But yeah, I can't understand why someone would be miles behind and then go so slow that you can't. It changes again before you can escape, type of thing. So I can see that would be frustrating if I did drive. And then on the phone in company is rude. Again, I apologise for me being there. But I mean, yeah, if I'd arranged to go out or whatever and whatnot, then I would have, like, my phone would be away. You know what I mean? I might keep it with us if like I'm needed or whatever, but I wouldn't be sitting on it. And as you said, for that child, a boy who was with them, then it must have been awful, because what was the point of him being there? You might as well have stayed home or whatever.
Might still have been at home. I don't know
exactly.
Why went out.
And then obviously them too as well. If all them are doing is on the phone and they're not even talking to each other, then what's the point of being there? Could have done that in the house. It would have been cheaper, probably. So yeah. Okay. So as I said, I'm not banishing. I'm not saving anything, because none of it is worth saving for me, and I will let the chat decide. So if you want to put people not putting things close to the dishwasher but not in the dishwasher, put dish for shortness. If you want, if traffic light etiquette is your irritation, then put traffic. And if people on the phone in company annoys you, type phone. So dish, traffic, or phone. You decide what you want to banish. We shall see what the pick. Um, you're not funny, Neil. Sorry, what was the last thing? I was busy checking Instagram. Yeah, you're funny. We'll get you. Stephen says, to be fair, my phone would be more interesting than my relatives. I'm sure that's not the case. Hi, Martin. I think the most people are saying phone. Hi, Christine. I'm thinking she's from your channel, actually, because it's Christine's cards and things. She come over from you. But welcome anyway, obviously. Hi, Keith. Yeah, definitely phone. People being on the phone in company is the majority. There you go. Right. Okay, so category 3 is fashion and accessories.
Oh God, again, really hard. I mean, I've never been a follower of fashion, any really. I like clothes, but I have a love-hate relationship with my body, like a lot of women, and I've fluctuated dress sizes over the years. So, you know, I've got stuff in my wardrobe from a size 10 to a size 20. So, yeah. But number one, thongs.
Thongs.
Why? Yeah, thongs. Yeah.
Okay. And
I admit I've worn them in the past when I was much younger. The thought of them now, the discomfort, you know, and I'm not quite at the granny pants stage, but you know, I like a nice knicker, but I like a comfortable knicker as well. So yeah, thongs. I think, yeah, not good.
Not good.
The next one, I've never owned any of these, but I'm a bit of a people watcher. I do like to watch people, and yeah, Uggs, Ugg boots.
Ugg boots.
I don't like them because they look like slippers, and you see people walking in them, and it seems like they can't walk properly when they're wearing them. So yeah, Uggs, and they're very expensive for what they are, I think.
Yeah.
And then maybe it's jealousy because I jeggings.
And
Either wear
jeggings.
jeans, leggings. Why do we have hybrid of the two? I think unless you are super svelte and young, jeggings aren't a good look for most women. You know, I'm thinking camel hoof going on. You know, yeah. So those are my three things: thongs, Uggs, and jeggings.
Okay. Right, let's have a think. Okay, so I'm going to start with the thongs.
Hello, people in the chat, by the way. I can't see chat, so I hope you don't think I'm being rude. But hello, everybody.
So starting with thongs. Yeah, I agree with you. Well, I've never worn them. I tried them a couple of times, but honestly, I felt like, you know, when a piece of cheese gets that piece of wire that comes over to cut it down.
Yeah.
Honestly, it felt like that. And I just don't understand why anyone wants to cheese wire their bum hole. I said bum hole? Yes, I did. Okay. Anyway, we'll move on with that. But yeah, it's just like, no, And the worst thing is the other thing with them is that whenever you see anyone with them, the always the tag at the top is out as, you know what I mean, and the label sticking out the top, and and usually the top of the thong is sticking above their trousers or pants or whatever they've got on as well. And you're just like, it's not a good look. I mean,
it's not isn't it?
Yeah, I can understand. I mean, I get it. You know what I mean? Whatever, but nah. And I mean, my bum's wobbly enough. I want some support for it. You know what I mean? I don't want my bum cheeks hanging, because that's no good. I mean, to be fair, I don't wear underwear anymore, but when I did, you know.
But warmth on the buttocks as well, you know.
Yeah, there's no warmth on your butt. Yeah, exactly.
Like a bit of and if you're wearing a skirt and the wind lifts it up, I mean,
that's it.
You're exposing quite a lot.
You are definitely. Stephen says the label is the largest part of the thong, which is quite true, to be fair. Hi Jack. He says a jock strap is far more comfortable than a thong. Can't say I've tried. So yeah. But yeah, I totally agree on thongs. But yeah, and I mean, and then they made a thong.
Hold on, my cat's meowing to be let in. Hold on a minute.
No bother. Victoria's not looking at people close enough, but sometimes they bend over you and bend over in front of you, and you ain't got a choice. You know what I mean? It's like if they bend down in front of you, you've got no choice because it's in your face, isn't it? It's like, yeah.
Thinking about really.
Moving on from them, we'll go to Ugg Boots. Now, I totally agree with you in one sense, but in another sense I don't, because the boots that I have are based on Ugg boots, and they're not real, obviously, Uggs, and they're not fake Uggs, in that they're not labelled as Uggs. They're just in the same style. And yeah, but because I've got lipedema and lymphedema, and I wouldn't obviously do this to a pair of Uggs, is I've had to cut the back of them slightly because of my legs. So they fit on my feet, but they don't fit on the leg part, because anything, shoes and stuff, well, especially things that's got boots, you know what I mean, is terrible. So in that sense, I'm kind of like, however, you're being specific to Uggs, so the ones that I've got can still exist without them, I guess, so that'll be all right. But I know what you mean. And they're usually like so huge, and then they've got a legging, wearing leggings or jeggings in them, and they're like, you know what I mean. And what I always find is the bit at the back, you know, the bit right at the back where the heel bit is meant to be.
Yeah.
They always look crushed. Completely crushed for some reason. I don't know why, but there's a thing with that bit at the back that just makes them look crushed. So yeah, I'm not gonna save them, because mine are not Uggs really. They're just boots that look a bit like them. And then jeggings. Well, I don't wear any type of trousers anyway, because just with my leg, it's not worth it. Oh, and also just going back to Uggs, the price, because I've just noticed that Jack put £200 for a bit of fluff. Yeah, exactly. That's mental. Why? Why you would? Yeah, £200. Yeah, it's madness. So that's another reason why. Yeah, mine were £5, just so you know.
You don't mind snipping the back of them if they're only a
yeah, well, exactly. That's why because I knew I was going to snip the back of them. So yeah, but yeah, jeggings. Like I said, they don't really bother me, but like it doesn't bother me if people wear them. I understand like what you're saying. Sometimes there's issues with camel toes and stuff. You get that with leggings as well. but I guess people need to be aware of that of their own accord. I mean, surely they check themselves, don't they? Like they just look. I mean, before they go out the door, but maybe not. Maybe they like displaying it. I don't
Yeah.
know. Whatever. Maybe they do. So so yes, jeggings. Like I said, I'm not going to say them because it's not something that affects me anyway because I don't wear them. So I will let the chat decide on all three again. And so people in the chat, if you want to banish thongs, type thongs. If you want to banish Ugg boots, type Ugg. And if you want to banish jeggings, type jeggings. And we shall see what you decide. Yeah, Elaine, I know what you mean. She said my pet hate is women wearing so-called leggings that are more like tights and are really see-through. So
Yeah, that's not a good look either. Yeah.
I'm thinking thongs are going to win this by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Thong, 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 thong. I knew someone would write that. Thanks, Susan.
What have they written? I can't see the chat, so.
You do you remember this song? And it was like thong, 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 the thong song. Yeah, she wrote that. Like all the thong. But yeah. It's definitely looking like thongs. I shall take that. Okay. Right.
I'm pleased.
Good. Now no one has to look at them anymore. Keep their labels in their knickers. All right. So the next category is songs. So I shall let you tell me what your first one is. Can you hear me, Ashley?
Have I frozen as well? Chat's frozen.
Yeah, I can hear you now. So the next category is songs.
So we're and oh god, I'm sounding like I've gone off. I'm sounding like a cracked record, rather apt for songs. Again, really hard. I am actually a musician. I have been playing music since the age of 4 and trained to be a music teacher and a drama teacher. And I know quite a lot about music and I've got a very eclectic taste. However, having been a classroom music teacher in a secondary school for some years, it killed my love of music. And for many years, I couldn't listen to any music. I had to listen to chat. So I listened to Radio 4 a lot for the variety of programmes on there. And it's only in recent years that I've started to listen to music again. But I am a girl of the 80s. So, you know, I like a lot of 80s stuff. But yeah, I don't know what you'll think of these. This one just reminds me of all of the awful weddings that I've been to. And the variety of people I've seen dancing and pretending to dance and doing group dancing. And that's the Birdie Song.
The Birdie Song.
I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And it's got one of those insistent tunes that just stays in your head. And once you've heard it, you can't get it out. You know what I mean? It's real earworm going on. But yeah, all the awful weddings that I've been to, and basically people, you know, doing, you know, all this dancing stuff. No, that's that. The other one, it's not so much as, well, it is a song, but it's not a pop song, is Ode to Joy from Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, which is the choral symphony. And poor Beethoven, I think, would be turning in his grave because lots of schemes of work in secondary schools, music lessons, kids, when they're learning to play the keyboards, learn Ode to Joy because it's quite a simple tune where the notes are in, they're close to each other, so you haven't got to move your fingers a lot. So yeah, I think of all the people over the years that I've had to endure learning how to play Ode to Joy. And actually, if you listen to a really performance of Beethoven, to hear a full choir singing that with a full orchestra, it is magnificent. But the way it's been butchered since, I heard it on someone's phone the other day, ringtone. There was some commentator. I was watching something about the situation in Ukraine, and they were talking to some army general. His phone went off, and it was blooming Ode to Joy in a really tinny, horrible sound. So yeah, poor Beethoven, I think, he'd be rolling in his grave if he knew what he'd written had, you know, been turned into that. And then the final one, oh, it's a love song. I do quite like it. And there were lots that I could have chosen, but the Proclaimers, I'm going to be. I will walk 500 miles. Will you really?
No.
Will you really walk 500 miles? Who are you going to walk 500 miles for? Why? It's a bloody long way. I should know. I've done the moonwalk twice, which is for breast cancer charities, and you walk the route of the London Marathon at night in your bra. Other things as well, but your bra. I've done that twice.
Yeah, over the top. Yeah.
26.2 miles is a long way to walk. So 500. That's 20 times the distance, isn't it? It's a bloody long way. So yeah, the lyrics of that to me, I don't that they walk miles.
Okay, right. I don't actually know which. I mean, I probably would know what Ode to Joy was if I heard it, but I don't know. Oh yeah, I do know what it is.
I'll stop there.
Yeah, I do know what it is.
As a music teacher, I didn't say I could sing.
Yeah, I know what it is then. And I'm not a huge fan of classical music. I do like it. I do like some of it, but not a huge fan. The Birdie Song, massive nostalgia for that. It does not bother me. And I am quite tempted to save it, but then I would walk 500 miles. I cannot not sing it. I actually really like it, and I like the Proclaimers. I do get what you mean about the I would walk 500. No, you wouldn't. I get that point. However, they may have been saying, well, I'll walk 5 miles today, 5 miles the next day, 5 miles the next day. I'm sure they weren't going to walk 500 miles in a row. I guess that was what it was. Yeah. So do I save the Birdie Song, or do I save I would walk 500 miles? I think I've got to save that I would walk 500 miles, even though the Birdie Song has like memories of like, you know, like family events and stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think I'm going to save I would walk 500 miles, and I shall let the chat choose between the Birdie Song and Ode to Joy. So if you want to see it, if you want to banish the Birdie Song, type Birdie, and if you want to banish Ode to Joy, type Joy. I mean, we're not banishing joys, like, but if there's any in the chat, just in case.
Is she in tonight?
I don't know, but if there's any joys, it's not you. You're all right. I think most people are going with Ode to Joy. Sharon's picking it just so that you're never traumatized again, Ashley.
Oh, dear me.
But yeah.
That's some memories of teaching music, I tell you.
Definitely Ode to Joy. We're a joyless crowd, are we, Stephen? Hi, Dawn. Right. So I shall mark that one down. Okay. So category 5, things people say.
Okay, this was quite hard as well. God, they're all hard. I'm not being funny, but people start that sentence, don't they? I'm not being funny, but, and
Yeah.
you know that there's going to be some kind of or some disagreement with your viewpoint or whatever. So yeah, it's a bit like don't take offence, but do you know what I mean? You're going to, aren't you? You're gonna.
Yeah, they're gonna say something negative to you.
Yeah, definitely. And then this is one we have a joke about in our house. If anybody is on TV, and they speak in a voice or they say something, it's we say, I think you'll find. Somebody gets on their high horse, they're trying to say that they're right,
Yeah, it's like a bit stuck up, that, isn't it? I think you'll find the answer is whatever.
Yeah. So, but we have a bit of a joke about that ourselves, if we're having an argument or a discussion about something. Oh, fine. And we have to put that voice on as well. I don't know why, but we have to put that voice on.
Yeah.
And then this is quite a new one in terms of how language has evolved. I find it triggering, or it triggers me. What do they mean by the use of the word trigger? That's quite new, and maybe I'm showing my age again. I don't understand it, and I find it quite. We all have things that get to us, but is it a trigger? And what does it trigger? It triggers me. What does it trigger? Bad dreams?
It triggers annoyance.
Yeah, yeah. It annoys me. Bloody trigger. Yeah.
I think it's just the same thing. Annoyed, triggered. But yeah, it doesn't bother me either way it's said, but I get what you're saying. Okay, so right, you said I'm not being funny, but yeah, that always means they're gonna say something like annoyed.
Something
Annoying.
Something's gonna upset you, or is controversial, or
I think by saying that means it makes it okay to say it when it doesn't. It's like gives them a pass to do it when it doesn't. And yeah, so I'm not going to save that, obviously. The whole I think you'll find thing, it's very smug. You know what I mean? It's like you don't know the correct answer, but I do. So I think you'll find you're wrong.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yes. So yeah, it's very smug in that sense, and condescending and
very
stuff.
Condescending.
Very condescending, very. So yeah, I won't be saving that. But I actually quite like the word triggered. I don't know. It's something that I've used within friends of mine about being triggered by things. It doesn't bother me.
I can understand
I don't know.
I can understand the concept behind it, but I don't understand the use of the word in that context. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I suppose it's kind of like the word triggered. Obviously, is replacing the word annoyed, I suppose, but it's like it's also adding the point that that exact thing is what triggered you. So that exact whatever it was, do you know what I mean? I guess.
But it also implies that it can. It also implies that it can set you off to do something. So, like if I was watching a YouTube video about somebody making a chocolate cake, and I've got a problem with eating chocolate, then that's going to start me off wanting chocolate. That's going to trigger me wanting to eat chocolate. So I can understand it, but But why do people
I
have
always,
to say it even? I don't understand why people have to say it. Keep what bothers you or upsets you or sets you off doing things to yourself. Why do you have to share it with people?
I suppose it depends in who you're sharing it with, because if I was with a group of friends, it doesn't bother me to share it. I wouldn't just sort of, do you know what I mean? I wouldn't just use it. But if I was with a group of friends, and I would use it. But I don't view it as a, like, I would view it as a more of an annoyed thing rather than
Yeah.
like watching something that triggers me. So like, you know what I mean? It would have to trigger me to be annoyed by something, not really. But I get what you mean now, because I didn't really think about it as in like triggering you to respond to like wanting something. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I have to save it for, because I need to be able to see it. So I'm gonna save it, but then I'll let the chat decide between I'm not funny but and I think you'll find. So if you want to banish I'm not funny but, type funny. And if you want to banish I think you'll find, type find. I was thinking of isn't it Trigger who was in Only Fools and Horses, was
Only
it?
Fools and Horses. Yeah.
Yeah.
He died, didn't he, not so long ago? The actor that
Yeah,
played
not
him.
not that long ago, yeah. Yeah.
That was a
Wow.
brilliant series. I loved that. Absolutely loved that. The way you always call Rodney Dave. Dave.
Yeah. Dave. It doesn't matter how many times he said to the Dave. I think I'm gonna have to count this one. Hello Lorna and welcome. Um funny, that's 4.
And hello again in the chat. I can't see who's there, so hello.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so it's funny just by 1. So yeah, I think I'm funny but is now banished.
Excellent.
So that's cool. Okay, we'll move on to category 6, which is, I should say, famous people.
Okay. The first one. Oh, Jimmy Carr.
Jimmy Carr.
The man with the annoying, and I've been in the news recently for controversial things that he said. I'm not going to go down there, but he is quite a clever comedian, and you know, when he's on things like 8 out of 10 Cats and those kinds of programs, he's quite funny, but his laugh, that's not real. Come on, that is so contrived, that's so put on. It's really, really not real. So Jimmy Carr for that reason. Yeah, I think he dyes his hair. And then I have a love-hate relationship with this next person. I can't stand the woman, but I can't not. It's a bit like Car Crash TV, and that's Katie Hopkins.
All right.
I don't know why it keeps coming up in my YouTube suggestions, little clips of things that she's been in, and she has got her own YouTube channel, and I've watched a few bits and pieces. I think, why am I giving her airtime? You know, but there is this. She's on this morning with going children's, and she's saying what you can suss out about a child as a parent, what you can suss out about a child by their name, and it was very, very controversial. And
I've seen it.
Basically, she was saying, I wouldn't let my children play with anybody who's got a funny name like Apple or Fizzy Apple, or if it's named after something. And Holly said, well, you've got a child called Poppy. That's named after a flower. Oh well, yes, yeah. Poppy. Poppy's a lovely name. And I
Yeah,
wouldn't name a child. I wouldn't trust a child or let my children play with a child who's named after a place like Brooklyn or London. And Philip
yeah,
Schofield said, "You've got a child called India." Oh yes, oh
yeah.
yes, yeah.
I mean, for being intelligent, that was like off the scale. That, you know what I
Absolutely,
mean? Supposedly being intelligent,
absolutely.
that was off the scale.
And
Absolutely.
I don't like the woman. I don't like what she stands for, but she is intelligent. She is articulate. So I'll give her that.
Mm,
And she's got a cracking figure. I'd love to have a figure like that, I have to
yeah,
say. Um, but yeah, so I find myself compelled to watch her, but I don't like her.
yeah,
And then the last one is quite upsetting, really. Um, Will Smith. I've long admired him as an actor, and
yeah,
loved him in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the Men in Black films, Pursuit of Happiness, one of my all-time favourite films based on a true story. Absolutely love him, but his recent behaviour at the Oscars. Okay, Chris Rock shouldn't have said what he said, maybe in a public place like that, but he is a comedian. He was making a joke, and I just think the way that Will Smith responded to it was completely inappropriate in a public forum like that.
yeah,
And it's not even the fact that he went up and bopped him on the nose, which I thought actually was quite hilarious and quite weak. It was like a little like that on the nose, not like a full, you know,
yeah,
gusto behind the arm type of. It was the way when he went and sat back down, he kept going on, and the language that came out of his mouth. I'm not a prude, but the way
mm,
he just kept on using the F word and kept on using the F word. Yeah, maybe
yeah,
Chris Rock should not have made fun of his wife's hair situation. I've got bald patches after 2 lots of chemotherapy, so I can understand how she would feel self-conscious about hair loss. But he is an intelligent, well-respected man. He should have gone up to Chris, taken him to one side and said, "Hey, look, mate, what you said was a bit off the mark," rather than doing
yeah.
what he did. I just thought it was completely over the top. Um, yeah. So those are my 3 famous people.
Right, okie dokie. Let's start. Jimmy Carr. Um, I don't find him. He says the odd things. It's funny, but I'm not like that into him as a comedian. I think he looks like. Do you remember years ago they used to have those wooden doll puppets, and they were quite evil, and they had like a sort of fixed face like that,
Yes.
and had like the black hairline. Yeah, he looks like one of them, which always is a bit freaky. And I agree that his laugh is odd. His laugh is very odd. Um, but then I kind of think like, yeah, I couldn't even do an impression of it because it's weird.
No.
Um, but yeah, so I'm not interested in saving him. Katie Hopkins, I cannot stand. Someone said in the chat that her job is to be vile, like as in that is what her job is. But then why would you want to be like that? You know what I mean?
I
I do think
know.
she has.
She just wants to
Um,
stir up controversy,
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
she?
She like to me, she is a hate stirrer. Like that's what she does, and um, yeah, for like her views on weight and stuff I don't agree
Yeah.
with, and yeah, and I couldn't watch her because she would just, yeah, she would trigger me, shall we say. But yeah, but yeah, she would just yeah, I can't. So there's no way I'm obviously saving her. And Will Smith, like you, he I loved Will Smith. I loved him in all the films he'd done. I grew up, I watched him in all of Prince of Bel Air. Absolutely loved it. I always thought he had his feet on the ground. He seemed like
Yeah.
he knew what he was doing and whatever. And um, yeah, I thought it
I
was a
was
joke,
very
the whole thing.
surprised.
yeah, I thought it was a
I was very
joke,
surprised by that outburst. Yeah.
and what got me is that obviously he made that joke. Now, Chris Rock claims he didn't know about the alopecia or whatever, but even if he did, like that, having that joke does not give the cause for a reaction like that. That in no way do you respond by in violence, in my point of view. And the other thing that got me is like he was laughing. Will Smith was laughing at the joke until he looked at Jada, and Jada was not laughing. And then he responded, which kind of made it look odd. But also, if
Yeah.
Jada wasn't happy about it, Jada's got her own mouth. She shouldn't have to
Yeah.
have a husband have to say something. Like she could have just said, like you might find that funny, but this isn't like you know what I mean? This is how it is. She had her own mouth. She should have said something, and she didn't. And then obviously to go up there in, I think it looked more like a slap, which you know what I mean. It was kind of wasn't even a full reaction, but it wasn't even. But it was like it shouldn't have happened anyway. And then obviously to mouth off at the end as well, it was kind of like I don't know. It just all seemed a bit. It all seemed very weird. Yeah, they
And
supposedly have
that's
an
going to
open
be there
relationship, but I
forever
think
for
it's
his
more on her
children to
side.
see. Yeah,
Yeah,
but say that's going to
exactly.
be out there forever for his children to see, for his grandchildren if he has any to see. It's out there forever, and
Yeah,
I think he's going to find it very hard to recover from that, which is a shame because he's a good actor.
yeah. I mean, this Star's saying they're supposed to have a open relationship, but to be honest, I think that's more on her side. Um, and Susan's saying I'd put the academy in the bin for not escorting him off the premises after the incident because what must like and Susan said this to me, what must young people be looking at that who's watching that um kind of thinking when, oh well, you go there, you're above the law, you're above everything, you can do what you want if you're famous, and then you slap someone and then you win an award, because that's kind of how it looked in a sense, and to younger people that's much definitely how it would have looked.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
as much as I've always liked him, I really, and I know we all make mistakes and whatever, and obviously we don't know the details of their marriage really, but it doesn't seem very good, does it? From that, if if your wife's face makes you change what you were doing, kind of makes it's very odd. But so yeah, I can't even save him for that. I just can't. So I shall let the judge decide on all three. If you want to banish Jimmy
Oh,
Carr,
I've done well, haven't I,
you
tonight? You've
have.
not saved many.
Not save loads, no. If you want to banish Jimmy Carr, put Jimmy in the bin. If you want to banish Katie Hopkins, put Katie in the chat. I mean, not in the bin. You can put them all in the bin, to be fair. And if you want to banish Will Smith, you can put Will in the chat. Can we put his behaviour in the bin? What, and keep him? Yeah, I
You're
mean,
the boss, you decide.
yeah, we've all, lots of people have made mistakes, no doubt. And hopefully one day he'll speak about it. I really don't think they have a good marriage for all what the outside shown for a while anyway, until the whole thing came out. You know what I mean? But yeah, let's see. Let's see. So I think it's going to be Katie anyway, by the looks of it, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Couple for Will, couple for Jimmy. So yeah, Katie Hopkins. To be fair, she's been in the bin a few times.
Has she?
She has,
I
yeah.
thought she probably had, but I just,
She might as well just live there, to
yeah,
be fair.
I just can't. I have to watch her. Do you know what I mean? I just have to.
Yeah. Well, it's like,
Um,
what is it? Like people watch negative things. I can't remember what it is, but there's something about it where you're drawn to it. I guess it's like why people watch documentaries about murderers and stuff, because there's some sort of attraction to it for whatever reason. But yeah, okay, right.
I think
You what? Sorry.
the stupidity maybe of her,
Yeah,
you
maybe
know,
that's
the
it.
things
Maybe
she was
that's
out
it.
with. Mm.
Yeah. Okay. So category 7 is school life. So going back to your youth, eh?
Okay, well, I've got two things from my school days as a pupil, and
Right.
one thing from my school days as a teacher. So
Okay.
let's start with primary school. So
Right.
okay, primary school dinners. I'm putting that in the bin because
School
my
dinners.
primary school dinners were awful. I know some school dinners are lovely, but my overriding memory is that they were awful. And we were made to sit at the table. We used harridan of dinner ladies, you know, that were coming round. You couldn't leave the table until you'd eaten all your dinner. And, you know, we quite often had liver because it was cheap, but they'd overcook it and buy the cheapest, like pig's liver. Bitter carrots, you know, not like sweet carrots that we have today, but really bitter, horrible carrots, diced, and lumpy
Yeah.
mashed potato. That's my overriding memory. And the smell in the dinner hall. And I used to pretend to eat my dinner and cut it up into the bits. Hold on, the cat's coming round. She's just sat on me. Oh, look, you've got a bit of bum in your face. Yeah, I used to cut mine up into under the table, on the floor under the table. Used to throw it on the
Just
floor under the table.
chuck it underneath
so
the
dinner
table.
ladies would let me go out and play. So that's that one. Primary school dinners. I loved secondary school dinners. We had a really good school canteen when I was at secondary school, and it was lovely being able to
Have a
choose
choice.
what you wanted.
Yeah.
You know, that canteen system. I really liked that. Yeah, and then PE lessons. I hated PE lessons at school. Yeah, PE lessons. We had some scary PE teachers. They made us go out in all weathers. We used to do rain dances in rooms, and when I was at school, you had to have showers after PE. We'd all just run through because we all, you know, teenage girls. You're all self-conscious about your body, aren't you?
Yeah.
We'd run through the showers, you know, as quick as we could. But we used to do rain dances before our PE lesson in the changing room, in the hope that the heavens would open and we'd be allowed to do indoor PE. But I've got memories of us going out, and I actually was in the hockey team at school. I played left inner, and I was in the netball team until my new music took over. This has just woken up. But yeah, PE lessons and PE teachers, they made us go out in a snow blizzard to play hockey in the winter one year. And you couldn't see the ball because the ball was white. We played in about 3 foot of snow. It was hilarious, yeah. Miss Lith was our PE teacher, and Mrs. Tristram. And then the male PE staff, actually my form tutor, Mr. Lewis, he was a bit of all right. He was Welsh, and his nickname was Taff. And they had a staff room, and the S had been rubbed off the staff room. It said Taff room.
Yeah.
So yeah, some fond memories, but no PE lessons. No, didn't like them. So although I was quite sporty, as I say. And it's that thing as well. I was hopeless. I think it's because I'm left-handed, and I think I had very poor hand-eye coordination, and I was hopeless at throwing and catching. And I was always the last to be picked for teams. You know, I wasn't very good at running and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so that the humiliation of being the last to be picked for a team, that was horrible, really horrible. I didn't like
Definitely.
that at all. And then there were lots of things about school life I could say as being a teacher, you know, from being a teacher. But the thing that really still gets me, chewing gum. So
Right.
battles that you'd have with kids that were chewing in class, and you say, "Can you empty your mouth? Put it in the bin." "I'm not chewing this. I'm not chewing." "Yes, you are." "No, I'm chewing my tongue. I'm chewing my tongue." "Well, why would you chew your tongue? Tell me. You know, you've got gum in your mouth." And then, like, you know, they can't dispose of it properly. It has to go under the table or under a chair. And some people on my channel know that I still work for a theatre school on a Saturday, and we meet up in a local secondary school and teach. One of the age groups is 6 to 9 year olds, and you know, when they get in chairs or whatever, or moving tables, they look and go, "Oh, Ashley, have you seen all the chewing gums?" Because of course you don't get it in primary schools. It just seems to be something that happens, that when you get to year 7 and you're 11, and you know, you start chewing gum at school and
It's cooler.
dispose of it in inappropriate places. You know? So yeah, chewing gum and battles with kids, and chewing gum stuck under tables and on chairs, and yeah. The number of times I've trodden in chewing gum. Yeah, so those are my 3 things. School life. I could have gone on and on and on about school life.
Okay. So as you've said, primary school dinners, so primary and infants for me, I wasn't that keen. I remember the we had dinner ladies and that, and used to bring them all in, and there'd be like a table, and there'd be 2 older children, so 2 children in the last year, who would sit with the younger children, and then they would have to serve them. And there was always these big, like, steel pans, and then a ladle of whatever you were getting, and there was always semolina, and I wasn't that keen on school dinners that I remember. Maybe the odd thing, but I agree, when I got into senior school, I loved them because I could pick what I wanted. And we used to have, like, they used to do the most amazing cheesecake at school that I've ever tasted, and you can never get it ever since. Don't know what it was. So I'm assuming they must have made it, but it was beautiful. So yeah, I do agree on primary and infant school doing this. It's probably changed a lot now. I mean, it's probably much better now, but I agree, back then for me, I didn't like it. And then PE lessons were horrendous. I absolutely hated PE, and I never wanted to do it. It was definitely not sporty, but because I was also body conscious, that just made it even worse. You know what I mean? And back then, I mean, I was only at the age of 13, 14, I was a size 14, but I thought I was huge because most of the girls in my class were tiny, like 6'8", you know what I mean, type of thing. And so that just made me really conscious. So having to wear t-shirt and PE skirt and plus our PE skirts were purple, and they were like tennis skirts, you know, and then you had to wear matching purple knickers that you got with the PE skirts. And I remember playing hockey, and it was just how many whacks in the shins you got. It was just ridiculous. Like, it knacked. It was a horrible game. I hated it. Like, the amount of, like, you know, injuries there were. It was like constant. And then we used to play rounders, and it used to get really, like, competitive, you know what I mean? And people were flinging bats down and stuff and whatever. And then also, the other thing I remember is cross country, which I think someone's mentioned in the side chat, and that was horrendous. And I remember, like, it was really muddy, and out the back of where our school was, there was loads of fields and, like, pathways and whatever. So we went along there, and I slid on the path on the muddy pathway, and my skirt went up, and I just landed in this mud in my horrible knickers that I had to have on, and then, as you said, you had to come back and you had to go in the shower, which was,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and as you said, you're conscious, aren't you? And you just run through,
Yeah.
and everybody hates it. Nobody wants to do it. It's just terrible.
I remember
No,
doing cross country orienteering, because I don't think they do it at schools anymore for safeguarding. You know, they'll do it
no,
round the school field, but in my day, you know, we did it outside of school. So we started off in school and ran around the roads and what have you. And like you, there were fields near my
yeah,
school, and I was jogging very slowly with a group of my friends, and we were all going, "Oh God, I'm desperate for a wee. I really, really need a wee." And in this field, there was an abandoned toilet. It's hilarious, right? Running along, and there was like this abandoned toilet in the middle of this field, in the middle of nowhere. Please just said hello, haven't you? Just come to say hello.
oh, it's lovely.
Yeah.
And the last
Yeah.
thing, chewing gum. I didn't even like that when I was that age. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
had chewing gum, but I didn't like the whole thing under the table thing. You know what I mean? Like that was just, it was minging. It was like, and the thing is if you had to pull the table towards you or anything, and then you stuck your fingers in it, and it was just disgusting. And
Yeah.
it was all, yeah,
Disgusting. So
yeah,
unhygienic.
it's horrible. Like I said, if I ever had to it, I mean, I'm not gonna say that I never spat it on the floor in my younger days. I probably did. I'm not gonna pretend I didn't, but yeah, yeah. Anyway, let's decide. So there's nothing here that I want to save, so I'll let the chat decide again. Um, so if you want to banish school dinners, specifically primary age school dinners, then put dinners. If you want to banish PE lessons, put PE. And if you want to banish chewing gum, put gum. And we'll go from there. So, yeah.
Also, I had scary teachers as a category, but I went
Yeah.
against it. Remember, we had a maths teacher. I think I was in third year, year 9. We had a maths teacher, Mrs. Phillips. I can still picture her now. And she had a
Yeah.
face like under all the time, and nobody dared breathe in her lessons at all. And you know, you used to have to cover your exercise books in a wallpaper or sticky back
Yeah, we
plastic or
did
what
that.
have you.
Yeah.
And I'd done mine, but I'd made chocolate mousse in cookery, and on the way home, it came unstuck out of whatever container it was in and went all over my maths book. I was absolutely petrified of what this
Yeah.
teacher was going to say. And like today, kids wouldn't give two hoots about what teachers
No,
say
not
to
at all.
them. I don't think
I
there are
would.
any really scary teachers anymore. You know, I think there are teachers who have got good discipline, but there aren't really scary teachers. I mean, like in my day, we hadn't long got rid of corporal punishment. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, even at primary school, there was still corporal punishment. Mrs. Beach was in charge of giving the slipper, and she had to write it all down in a book. You know. But teachers were still very physical when I was at school. You know, they and throw board rubbers at you. And Mr. Shrubs,
Yeah.
who was another maths teacher I had in 4th and 5th year, he'd throw bits of chalk at you, and he got it just right so it hit you on the edge of your ear, or you know, throw it with such force. It was only a little thing, but it would hurt. You know, can't do
Yeah.
that anymore. Do that anymore.
I remember them like throwing them in your direction if you were carrying on mucking about. They'd throw board rubbers in your direction. And we had another teacher who was tiny, and he had a scar down here, so we all used to call him Action Man, like the little figures, because he was only about 5 foot tall, and he used to pick up a desk. And if like he'd come in the room and everybody was noisy, or everyone started getting noisy, literally pick up a desk and drop it. And then yeah. And obviously everyone would like be shocked and like
Yeah,
shut up, of course. But
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Right, now let's see what they've decided.
Hold on, I'm going to let the cat out again. Oh, she's a
Oh, well,
right pain this evening.
1,
Come
2,
on.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So PE gets that one just over chewing gum. So a lot of people must have liked their school dinners then. So PE.
They've all got fond memories of their primary school dinners, obviously.
Yeah.
Maybe we just had a rotten school cook.
Probably did. Just to say hi to Pamela and Ian and Mandy, who have all joined us, and Cherry, and anyone else who I've missed that has come in. Hello to you too. Okay, so moving on to the last one. This last category is random mix. Basically, random mix. You can pick anything you want. So, what have you chosen?
My first one is Candy Crush Saga. Any of the Candy Crush games.
Candy Crush.
My niece, my grown-up niece, introduced me to it many years ago, and I was addicted to it. And I don't know why, in the last week to 10 days, I've started playing it again. And oh my God, I want to put it in the Banish bin because it is a thief of time. The amount of time I've wasted because they suck you in on all these little races. Come on, we've got this egg hunt on, and like, you know, I won an egg hunt. I won lots of boosters, but then like, oh, spend 79p and get some golden bricks, and you know, so it's a thief of time and money, and they suck you in. You're in this team, and your friends give you lives, and your friends have requested lives, and yeah. So Candy Crush, any of the Candy Crush Saga, Soda Crush, whatever. Yeah, put them all in the bin.
Oh, sorry, Kath. Hello to you too. Right, and your second choice?
Oh, I don't know whether there are any Carr booters in here, but I went to a Carr boot sale on Sunday, not to specifically buy anything, and we weren't selling, but we're thinking of doing one because we're having a massive declutter. And it was a really, really, really big Carr boot sale. And I was staggered at the amount of plastic tat that people were getting rid of. And people are buying. So plastic, cheap, nasty tat. What do we need?
So it's the plastic tat you've got issue with, not the car boot.
No, it's not Carr boots. No, not the Carr boots. No, no. Cheap plastic toys, cheap plastic tat, you know, stuff that's manufactured in Taiwan and China that, you know, I mean, I know McDonald's have changed their policy on their free toys, which I think is really good.
Definitely.
But no, plastic tat, let's get rid of it. It's not doing our planet any good. The way it's manufactured, you know, the resources that are used to, you know, and it doesn't, in terms of durability in being a toy, it doesn't necessarily last, but it will last forever on the planet.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
And I just don't know what we're doing to our planet, manufacturing all this stuff out of plastic. I can see it has its use in certain things. You know, chemically, it's a very strong, or can be a very strong substrate for things. But no, plastic tat. Yeah, don't like it. Oh, and then the third one. Oh.
The third one.
I'm going to change what I've got. You can ask me what it was after if you want to, but I'm going to change it, and I'm going to put slugs in there. It was on my list originally. I had got wasps, but I know a lot of people have done wasps, and actually wasps are quite useful because they do pollinate things. But slugs, what are slugs there for? Don't like them. And they seem to find ways into my house when it's raining, and I see slugs
Yeah.
by the front door when it's raining. Yeah. So that's what I'm putting in there. Slugs.
Right. Okay. So, starting with Candy Crush, I too have been a bit addicted to that one once upon a time. I got up to about, and I totally agree. It sucks your life away. Um, it 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 it. I don't know what it is that just sucks you in, but it does. And then
Yeah.
you're like hooked, and then you've got to get to the next level. And then if you've got your friends on there as well, you're trying to beat them as well. And it's like comes
Yeah.
this like
Yeah.
obsession, doesn't it? And yeah, I got to about 2000 and something level or something at one point, and then I just like was like, what am I doing with my life? You know what I mean? And stopped playing it. And I agree that it I mean, I'm obviously not going to save it because it's like not something I would save. But then some people might say, "Oh, well, it's you that's doing it," and I guess it's Wordle now. I don't know if you play Wordle, but at least that's only once a day. It's only one quiz
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
once a day. But yeah, I totally understand that one.
At
As for the
least that's
plastic cat,
exercising the grey matter, isn't it? Wordle. You're
yeah,
thinking, it's
yeah,
a puzzle. Whereas Candy Crush, there's a little bit of skill, but let's face it, it's minimal skill. It is random
yeah.
where those things drop. You've got no
Well,
control over that. So
I've no doubt they'll do something with Wordle where they'll make it so it's something constant, like a constant game,
mm,
because it's always about money, isn't it? When anything's good.
yeah,
Um, I haven't tried Hurdle. Apparently, there's a Hurdle which is the music version.
no.
So yeah,
Oh, that sounds interesting.
yeah.
I may not
Um,
tune in three.
I've not heard about Quordle and all the rest. Oh, so they've already done that. They've already made it such a big deal, I guess. Um, Candy Crush isn't like Tetris. It's kind of like you have to get rid of things on the screen um, rather than like put them into shapes, get the shapes right. So, but it's as addictive. I mean, we've all probably been addicted to Tetris before, I guess. Um, okay, so plastic tat. Totally agree with you. There's it's everywhere. It's everywhere from bags to children's toys to the pound shops. Man, that's just full of plastic tat, isn't it? It's everywhere,
Yeah.
and so much of it is just not necessary. Um, and it's the same with like shampoo bottles and all that stuff. You know what I mean? It needs to all become recyclable somehow. Like they need to make sure that everything that like that is recyclable. That is because it is classed as single use, isn't it? That sort of
Mm.
thing. It's like your bottle of shampoo once it's gone, or your bottle of um, body wash or whatever it is. So yeah, I totally agree with you on plastic tat. As for slugs, now I'm not a fan of slugs either. Um, I also got them in my house quite a lot, and the trails of slugs had them climbing up the walls and everything. I don't know why they kept coming in, but they did. And then one day I stood on one. I'd woke. I had
Oh,
my 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 bed was against the wall, and I was actually downstairs because it was before I got like I'm in a bungalow now, but I was in a up. Uh, um, I did have an upstairs before, but I couldn't get upstairs, so my bed was in the front room, and it was against the wall. And I woke in the night, needed to go to the toilet, put my foot on the floor, and stood up, and I stood on a slug barefoot. Yeah, that was my response as well. And I was like, oh, it's like freaky. It was horrible. So I went into the bathroom, went to the toilet, and came back and thought, I'll deal with it in the morning. I'll get rid of it in the morning, thinking there's going to be a dead slug on the floor. So I woke up the next morning, and that looks on the floor, and there's this patch of goo, about like in a complete perfect circle, like really thick patch of goo on the floor, but no slug. And I'm like, what kind of voodoo magic is this like? Because I'm not a light girl, you know what I mean? Like, no way. It was back then I weren't even a light girl. So like, how on earth is me, who's like quite a lot of stones, stood on something that probably didn't even weigh a gram or whatever, and it's like survived. You know what I mean? So yeah, I was really traumatized after that. Very traumatized. However, since getting into taking photographs and seeing the outside world, and I probably, before that I would have probably done the same. I would have banished them. I would have banished wasps. I would have banished uh, moths because I don't like them either. I would have banished loads of stuff like that. But because I've seen things through a different point of view and kind of looking at the circle of life, slugs will be food for something.
Absolutely. I mean, everything's part
So
of the food chain, isn't it?
yeah. And so I am going to save them for that reason, because I don't want to kill off whatever eats them. You know what I mean? And also in this house, I don't get plagued with them, so that's a lot better as well. But yeah, Cherry's saying the hedgehogs eat them, so yeah,
Oh, okay.
I will save them. So people in the chat, if you want to banish Candy Crush, type Candy. If you want to banish Plastic Tat, type Plastic. I've got a feeling I know what might go away. So,
do you want to know what the other one was that didn't make it?
What didn't make it?
It was public swimming pools. I don't like public swimming pools. Yeah, I just have visions of other people's hair. I have a think about other people's hair. I could never be a hairdresser. Plasters, when you see plasters off people's feet where they're floating on the top and the smell of chlorine.
Yeah.
I like swimming. I love swimming. But
and people weeing and people's bodily fluids as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think most people's picked plastic here. Yeah. What about Plastic Bertrand, France's only famous singer? Don't even know he is, so he can't be that famous.
Oh, he was on that Channel 4 quite saucy, rude show, wasn't he? Chanson pour moi.
Was that what was it called?
That's him, isn't that Plastic Bertrand?
It was hosted by Jean-Paul Gaultier? Was it him?
I don't know. It was a long time ago.
I can see it in my brain and I just can't. Yeah. Hello, Joanne, and welcome. I'm just seeing another name there. Or was he Belgian? I don't know. What was it? What was that program called? Eurotrash.
Eurotrash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. I remember watching that. Why did we watch it? It was kind of like, it was very weird.
It was quite saucy.
It was quite very saucy, because there was always some sort of sex club or, underwear thing that they had to show or whatever. So it was always very saucy, but it was very weird.
Or something.
It was very weird. Yeah, and it was kind of weird. Someone just stand like some old man with his mustache and his like green hair, stand there in the nude getting interviewed while his dangly bit floats in the wind a little bit. It was really weird. And he was like, yeah, well, I just like skiing. It's freeing. You know what I mean? Whatever. And you just get like, he's probably one of them and went, and I'm guessing you'll find. It's probably him.
I think you'll find.
I think you'll find.
The air is good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it was
think you'll
good,
find
rather
it's
than
good. It's good for the penis to be in the fresh air. No, it isn't. Put it away, people. Yeah, it was very different. Um, anyway, that is the end. So plastic tat was the last one to banish, and we're at the end now. So thank you very much to
Okay.
Ashley for doing this. How did you find it?
It
Wasn't
was
as bad once
huge.
you get into it.
No, I've really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it, and
Yeah,
yeah, I hope people have enjoyed what I've, suggested.
definitely. They've all been joining in the side chat and that, and
Excellent,
enjoying. Yeah.
excellent,
And
excellent.
and as I said at the start, Ashley, who is Peter and Twine, she has her own channel. If you haven't subscribed to her, her link is in the bottom, in my description box at the top. So make sure you go and click and subscribe, because she does some amazing things, and she also, has she takes you do like a diet thing, don't you? You do a weight loss thing. You
Yeah,
do a
so I've got all kinds of things. So I do once every 4 weeks. I do Secret Diary of a Serial Dieter.
yeah,
There'll be one coming on Monday. I haven't done very well this last 4 weeks. I say that every month. And I've got Coffee Shop Drill with my virtual barista Barry, who's currently in Poland volunteering for an organisation working with Ukrainian refugees. Barry's up to all
right.
sorts of nonsense. He's not very capable, is our Barry. Yeah, I've had to send him on health and safety training, and he's very unlucky in love, but he's trying to do a bit of good at the moment. So that's why he's
I
out in
see.
Poland. He's not real, by the way, he's virtual. He doesn't
Yeah,
really
yeah.
exist.
Well, I think the word
Somebody thinks he's my
virtual.
husband.
I have to say, I was
Somebody thought he
confused
was
at
my
first.
husband.
I was confused at first when I first used to think it's Barry, our husband. But yeah, obviously the word virtual did help there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do the odd
Um,
haul. I do the odd day in the life. So it's not all just crafting. There's a real
yeah,
mix.
it's not
So
all just
hopefully there's
crafting,
something for everybody.
but
Yeah.
yeah, there's a bit of everything. So definitely go and
Yeah.
subscribe. It's in the bottom. Thank you, Lorna. Lorna's saying I've come over from Ashley's channel to subscribe to you, so I thank you very much. And
Oh,
Pamela says
lovely.
I enjoy Ashley's channel, so that's very cool.
Thank you.
But yeah, so definitely if you haven't subscribed to it, it is in the information at the bottom. I will be back next week. I mean, there'll be other things from me before next Tuesday, but I will be back next Tuesday. I'll be back first at 7:30 to do the Let's Talk About with Heather, which is our weekly series on let's talk about the hard stuff, basically. So we've talked about death, we've talked about disability and life, love, work, and at the minute we're doing mental health, so which basically affects all the other things. So yeah, that's on at 7:30. But I'll also be back for the Banish bin at 9 with Dave, who is from ABL Reselling. So yeah, I look forward to that. And as I said, thank you very much again, Ashley. And we will
You're
bid you all
so
good
welcome.
night. So
Good
good night,
night,
everyone.
everybody.
Goodbye.
Take care. Bye.